Welcome to Crushing Kayfabe. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Jason Garish. Once again, thank you for tuning in. Before we get too involved with the wrestling stuff, I'd like to send out some special prayers and thoughts out to some of the officers in Bristol, Connecticut. You know, I spent a whole lot of time in Bristol, Connecticut. I was very involved with the local local scene there, and unfortunately, on what day was this? Wednesday night, there was a domestic dispute. The domestic dispute was called in. Domestic disturbance, whatever you want to call it. It was phoned in falsely for what turned out to be an ambush, and unfortunately, two officers, Sergeant Dustin DeMont and Officer Alex Hamsey, were killed that night. And unfortunately, Officer Alec Laredo was wounded during the response, but what turned out to be, unfortunately, a planned ambush by someone. So what was originally thought to be a domestic dispute actually was an ambush for these officers, and we're very saddened by this news. And like I said, having deep connections to Bristol, Connecticut really rips my heart out to hear that and see that. So I just pray for their family. I send my condolences out to our family and to their family, and it's a horrible situation, and you don't expect those types of things. I mean, I know Bristol has its issues, but you don't expect anything on that scale, especially, like I said, a planned ambush like that. And it was funny because my wife had told me about that, and she had seen it, and at that point, no details were known about it. And as soon as they said two officers were down for a domestic dispute, I immediately thought ambush, and I immediately thought planned ambush, because with their tactics and everything that their training and everything, I didn't think there was any possible way that would really happen unless it was basically an execution. So very sad news. Like I said, I just want to send my deeply heartfelt prayers and sympathies out to the families and everyone in Bristol, Connecticut. I still have a ton of friends back in Bristol, and this is kind of one of the reasons why we left the area. Just we saw a decline, unfortunately, in the what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say safety, but it just became a place where I didn't want to raise my kid anymore. And I grew up, most of my life in Connecticut, and that's really a sad thing. So hopefully the community can band together, and hopefully the individuals responsible for this get the punishment that they deserve. But unfortunately, no matter how much punishment you deal out, it's not going to bring back the lives of those brave officers. So it's a real sombering note, I know, to start things off. But I had to start off with like I said, very heartfelt, sincerest condolences going out there, and that's horrible. Appreciate everything that the police force does for us. I had a nephew who was a sergeant, and you really hate hearing these types of things. It's like I said, I can't even find the words to describe it. It's horrible. They look after us every day and serve the community, and for someone to arrange for this to happen is really a horrific thing, really. And I feel deeply sorry for their family and whatnot. So yeah, I hate to start things on a somber note, but I couldn't let the show go without mentioning some kind of prayers or whatnot going out to them. Hopefully everything, I don't want to say works out, but I hope that they find some peace, and the individuals that perpetrated that are punished the full extent of the law. So yeah. Let's get on some brighter things. Raiders were off this week. After the Kansas City game. It was a good game. Good game. Lost by 1 point. I can't complain too much, but they desperately needed that win, and being up the way they were, and then relenting the way they did. Especially when you got such a strong ground game, our defense should have contained them a little better. I kind of, like I've been saying since day one, this defense kind of reminds me of like a, almost want to say bend but don't break type of attitude. And sometimes I like to see him get a little more aggressive. Max Crosby was doing his job, and Chandler Jones decided to show up, and he played really well that game. We still desperately need some help on the interior of defensive line, though, and we need some help with the backs. It's we're unfortunately kind of injury stricken, and I guess Nate Hobbs now has a broken hand, so that's not going to help matters. That's not going to help things. But we got a bye week this week. Nothing going on this week. But we shall see. We shall see what's going on, and hopefully they can continue some winning ways. The next schedule is much weaker, so we'll see. Man, how about those Giants knocking off the Green Bay Packers? Wow. I guess the Giants are for real, and that's what good coaching will do for you. They have some obvious, glaring weaknesses, yet they still continue to win. So kudos to them. They got some good coaching, knowing what they're doing. They got a good team together. So if they get the right components in place and get a streak going, they could be dangerous, and the Jets are winning now, which is totally bizarre to me. I can't remember the last time I saw them put a winning team together. Just absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. But it's a cool NFL season. A lot of things kind of topsy-turvy, and it seems like anybody could win this thing. So, after seeing that Kansas City Buffalo game, that thing, you can't order a much better game than that. That was a great game. Do you feel like if Kansas City had some of their key components back, because they're a little injury stricken on defense too, so that could have easily gone the other way. That's how close those two teams are right now, and they're two of the best in the league right now. That was a heck of a game. That could have gone anyway. Bad call here, the bad call there. Speaking of bad calls, that even though I love Derek Carr and I love the Raiders, that roughing the passer penalty, I forget who the defender was. Holy, that was horrible. That was, I like to see him protect Derek as much as possible, but you could see the defender clearly putting his hand down to brace himself as he fell, and that was a bad call. So, yeah, and even was it wow, who was it that Aikman that made that comment that caught a lot of flack that is being sexist about that? But they gotta find a happy medium somewhere between letting people kill the quarterback and protecting them, and they still haven't found that. And I think the league needs to get together and call the referees together and try to figure something out, because the calls are way too inconsistent. This is some of the worst officiating I've seen in a long, long time. This is not good officiating. It seems like they're even making makeup calls. I mean, there were calls after that which could have easily been called the Raiders' way or whatever, and were not. But this is almost like they're making up for that horrible roughing the passer call. But yeah, there's a lot of parity in the league, and that's what the league wanted. So hey, they got what they wanted. Who knows who's going to win this year? It's gonna be a fun year. It's gonna be a wild ride. And hopefully the Raiders, like I said, they got a soft schedule coming up, and we'll see what we can do. And Titans aren't out of this thing either. I'm still rooting for Titans too. Being in Tennessee here, so it's gonna be a fun NFL season, fun wrestling. I almost said season, but fun time for wrestling, because you're gonna have Got a lot of stuff going on in WWE, a lot of stuff going on in AEW, you know. A lot of stuff I don't agree with, like Orange Cassidy defeating Pac for the All-Atlantic Championship, I thought was a crock. But why they're putting a serious belt on a comedy act like that is just beyond me. You know, and Jericho continues to do his Ring of Dishonor, I should say. But other than that, not a whole lot interesting in the way of AEW I can see. I still don't know what the exact punishments are going to be for some of the people involved in that whole altercation, which happened so long ago. You know, still really no news on that front, but we'll see how that turns out. I can't imagine they'll allow Punk to CM Punk, that is, to stay with the company. I really can't imagine that they'd do that. I think Tony Khan has to make some really hard decisions right now, and might be releasing pretty much the whole lot of them. You know, I really don't see how Punk can make amends with this, and still, there's going to be a lot of tension in the locker room, which it looks like there already is. You know, you're seeing it on the female front, the women's wrestling side and the men's wrestling side. There's some chaos going on in the locker room, and it's due to lack of leadership, which Tony Khan is not really a strong leader. You know, he claims to be a great booker, but I've yet to see that. I really don't think he's got the goods as far as that goes. You know, on WWE front, lots going on, man. Holy cow! You know, we saw Bray Wyatt return on Extreme Rules, and just a little glimpse, a little peek, see what's going on. Then he made his full return on SmackDown. You know, great moment. Both of them great moments. You could tell these have been planned out for a long time. You know, whether that was legitimately the real Bray Wyatt there, and I'm, you know, kayfabe, who knows, but it was emotional, and it felt heartfelt. So if it wasn't the real Bray Wyatt, then man, he's a hell of an actor, because it made you feel. It really did. You know, he referenced Brody Lee's death indirectly, and referenced a lot of things, and thanked the fans for supporting him. And I'm glad, you know, he's back. I'm glad that they returned the way he did and treated it with respect, because that was really good. The way they built it up and they did everything was excellent. You know, and they showed the Funhouse and Ruins on Extreme Rules and whatnot. So it was a really good return, and the kind of the cherry on the top was seeing Bray on SmackDown. SmackDown is going to have a stacked lineup. Karrion Kross, I think Drew's on there. You know, now I don't know if Ray is going to be exclusive to SmackDown. You know, he just won a chance at the the Intercontinental Championship. So he's going to be going up against Gunther. You know, so I don't know if he's going to be exclusive now, because that's kind of the counterpart of the United States Championship right there, is the Intercontinental belt. So, but yeah, Bray returned. Interesting little aspect at the very end where he was shown. I'm not sure if it was him talking to himself, another version of himself, or a character at the end of it, but there was, on the Titantron, there was a character who interrupted his promo at the very end of it, and I don't know if that's going to be another aspect of Ray. You know, I don't know if this is going to be another wrestler, or how this is all going to work out, but, you know, it's been hinted at that Bray kind of has dissociative disorder, and he has many different personalities he plays. Obviously, Fiend is another aspect of him, so we'll see if this is another aspect of Bray. You know, this character that seems to be chasing him. Is this going to be a character he plays? Is it going to be another wrestler? I don't know. You know, and I'm happy not to know. It's nice to be surprised. It's nice to actually not be able to predict things. It's nice to be able to actually anticipate watching wrestling again. It's fun again. You know, and WWE has been doing a great job with that. And from what I've heard, I don't know how true this is, but apparently they've approved about 6 months worth of creative from Bray for this character. So they've got a long way to go, which has all been given a green light. It's all been approved of. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Yeah. It's going to be a good time. I'm glad Bray's back. So we had Gallows and Anderson return. Had the Good Brothers return. A great moment on, was that Raw? Holy crap. That great moment, though. Jeez, that was when AJ kneeled down wow, I can't even think. That's killing me. That's how non-existent his character is to me. When the leader of the Finn Balor, leader of the Judgment Day. Wow, I thought for sure he was joining the Judgment Day at that point in time. And then when the OC came out, that was a cool moment. And that threw everyone out of whack, because from what I understand, I have heard no one predict this. I heard no one say that this was coming. It was totally out of left field. Boom. Because from what I understand, their New Japan contracts are still valid. I think they might even still be under Impact. Or I could be mistaken there, but that was a shocker. That was a good surprise. I enjoyed that immensely, and having AJ show up with somebody help him and have his back was great too. So that was a good moment. Very well done. Very well executed. Surprised everyone. Good job. Something that AEW had been doing for a while. There was pulling surprises out of their back pocket, and now that Triple H is in charge with WWE Creative, you see a lot more of that. The one thing that really bothered me on Raw was the appearance of Brock Lesnar. So as Brock appears to be a heel now, he went out and attacked Bobby Lashley right before his match with Seth Rollins and caused Lashley to lose the belt to Rollins. So Rollins is now United States champion. I don't like this because they've been putting so much push and force behind the United States Championship belt. It kind of takes some sheen off the belt. It kind of takes some steam off there. But I'm hoping that this promotes some kind of feud between Lesnar and Lashley. I mean, I'd love to see those two guys go at it in a long match. I really would. I'd love to see a feud between them. I'd prefer if Lashley still had the belt on him, because I think that adds a lot to Lashley. I think it adds a lot to the belt. I don't think putting it on Rollins really does anything for the belt, because it kind of makes it look like a joke or whatnot, or an interim belt. I don't like it. I hope they take that belt off of Rollins quickly. So, but we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, a ton of stuff going on in WWE. A lot of good stuff. Raw's going to be really good tonight. So it should be a good show. And what's the next pay-per-view? I think is a Survivor Series. I could be mistaken there. I think that's usually done around Thanksgiving time. It used to be done on Thanksgiving, which was kind of weird, but they've not doing that anymore. But some good stuff to look forward to. Like I said, some interesting stuff coming down the pike creatively. I'm really looking forward to Bray Wyatt stuff. I'm hoping that they do Lesnar-Lashley feud, and I hope it's good. I hope they give those guys the time that they need to do what they need to do, because if those two beating on each other for half an hour, I think that's going to be great. I really do. And if anything, we've seen from the Karrion Kross stuff with McIntyre. We've seen the Sheamus stuff with Gunther, and they're going to let those two go at it and be physical, I think, and that's going to be great, I think, in my estimation. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping they pull the trigger on that one. The other thing I forgot on SmackDown, Ray, was looking to retire. Had his little heartfelt moment, come to Jesus moment with Triple H, and ended up winning a shot to get the belt off of Gunther, the Intercontinental Championship. So he teased a little bit of a retirement there. We'll see what happens there. I don't know if he's taken off Gunther. I kind of hope not. I like his run with this belt. I think adds a lot there, and I kind of hope he squashes, right? To tell you the truth, I hate to say that, but unfortunately, hey, I'm almost out of time here, so I kind of wanted to give out some shout outs to let's start off with Lucky Lady Candles. Let's go that route and check them out on Facebook and on Etsy, you know. And while you're at it, you know, if you're in the Western Tennessee area, check out Then and Now. It's a great flea market. My wife has stuff there, handcrafted stuff, and you check her out on Facebook too. She's got Hooked by Jenna Lynn, and she's got some homemade goods there at Then and Now, and you can purchase my CD there. So check them out, and don't forget to check out Peggy's Attic, where you can also get some of her goods and purchase my CD there. So check them out. I'd like to give a shout out to Trenton Tabletop and Arcade. They had kind of like I had mentioned on the show last week. They had a promotion where there were actually table time there. You could play for free for 2 hours. So a pretty good deal. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to go down there, but that's a good deal to me. Free is good. I like free. You know, so check them out. They're once again in downtown Trenton, right in the square. Check them out too. And while you're at it, check us out on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Patreon. Crushing Kayfabe is on Patreon, so you can become a patron of the show for just $1 a month. You know, help us keep the lights on, help us do what we do, and help us on immensely. But just for $1 a month, you can listen to the audio of the show and not have to pay, or I should say, not have to listen to ads. And same thing with the. Eventually, we'll be putting some video up there, and it'll all be ad free. You can just for $1 a month, just help us out and have a good time with us and enjoy the show. So that's about all. You know, continue prayers and sending out your financial aid to the Ukraine through UNICEF and Red Cross and whatnot. Help them out, you know, because they desperately need it. You know, those people deserve their freedom just as much as anyone else, and what is happening there is still happening, and it's atrocious. So help out the Ukraine if you can, please. Send your prayers and thoughts out to them, and whatever goods, you know, through a legitimate organization, nonprofit organization, can help them out immensely. So do so. But hey, thank you for tuning in. You know, it's going to be a great NFL season. Going to be some great wrestling coming up. So keep tuned in, keep enjoying. You know, plus we got the holidays coming up. You know, there's going to be a lot of surprises around the corner for that. So once again, you know, be safe, everybody, and God bless. Thank you.